So on an AskReddit thread, what evil prank have you pulled off? So today on Decoy Noise, I'm the decoy, no guest today, but we're just gonna go ahead and do this more chill, intimate setting. We're just gonna talk about the things right here. It's gonna be more interactive between me and the listener. If you haven't already, please subscribe down below. I'm not begging, but you know, we kinda need it right now. But let's get right into the thread right now. So what evil prank have you pulled off? More Religious says, Mom can't tolerate sweet things since she can remember. She never ate sweets. When I was 6 or so, during breakfast, Mom left her newly brewed coffee on the table. My older brother encouraged me to put more sugar as a prank, so I did. Mom came back, stirred, then drank, and spit out like a rocket. We started laughing and saying it was a prank, explaining that we put extra sugar in it. She looked at us as if we were stupid. Apparently I put salt instead. Her coffee was at sea salt level, jeez. Edit, welp, got my very first silver and second silver. Thank you kindly, stress. Shut up, I don't care if you got silver for that thread. I laughed. Actually, I didn't laugh. You just exhaled more out of your nose. But no, I didn't like the whole, thanks for silver, whatever. Let's admit, I'm just jealous. Okay, so Wolf Chato says, this might be stupidly the funniest comment in the thread. And it actually is. Fred Zout says, my coworkers in the Chicago office asked me to bring back a phone book at the hotel stationery from my business trip to Kansas City. They are preparing for another coworker's bachelor party in the night before of a wedding. The groom was known for drinking to an extent that was considered legendary. After a night of drinking, he woke up in the morning of the wedding in a hotel room. He checked the nightstand and found the Kansas City phone book. The desk was stocked with KC stationery. His friends had clued the front desk staff on what was happening and convinced him that they answered the phone, good morning and welcome to Kansas City Holiday Inn. It was 5 hours to the wedding, and he was actually only a couple miles from the venue. The freak out was epic. That's some, what do you call it, the Hangover Part 6 type of thing. Classic result. This is sublime. So, Doodle Whacker. I have an extra mouse in my desk drawer at work. I have the USB plugged into the docking station of the obnoxious guy a couple cubes away. On days he's particularly obnoxious, I'll take out the extra mouse and move it around every few minutes. Okay, I get it. He has never realized because it's plugged in the docking station and not his laptop. He has even had the laptop replaced, never noticed. It brings me to tears, silently laughing sometimes. I have to be careful not to overdo it. What's the one of the replies? Like, settle down there, Hitler. So, Kevin Uxbridge says, I posted this before, but I made a friend believe she was being followed by a garden gnome for years. Many of her friends are involved, plus other helpers. She shows up at B&B in Scotland that we'd recommend. At a B&B or bed and breakfast, okay. And there was a gnome in the garden, and it looked exactly like the gnome she briefly turned up in her yard. Then she saw it on the way to work, then in Providence, and in Germany. It really did look like the same gnome. It was. Busted Up Chifferobe says, gradually over the course of 2 weeks, I moved my coworker's monitor closer to the front edge of the desk, like 1/4 of an inch per move, until they were so close the keyboard barely fit. Stupid small desk, she grumbled near the end. I then moved them back just as slowly over a few weeks. She never caught on. Michael? Yes. Reply to that. Brand name nerd. Had a friend and coworker regularly bring up how annoying it was where someone would walk by him and just so uncomfortably close. There's plenty of room between the back of his chair and the wall, but daily he'd feel this guy walk past him. Wasn't trying to be a creep, just lack of self-awareness in the office, clearly. My friend tried doing it a few things to get this guy to notice it was annoying, but of course never actually spoke to him as the dude was more senior and it was intimidated. Whatever, I had an idea. Every day he'd pull his desk back towards a little bit closer to the wall, a little bit closer, till he knew it wasn't going to work immediately. But after a few weeks of slowly moving the desk, annoying coworker would have to shovel sideways by to make it. My friend would often busy himself and not help or make a really big deal of getting out of his way. Eventually, annoying coworker started taking another route through the office when no one was inconvenienced, and my friend slowly moved the desk back to its original spot. Maybe I'd have to actually see that office to make that actually work. This seems like a story that they just kind of made up on the fly. So Decoy Court, let's bring it back. Brand name nerd. Let's see. You have actually a lot of karma. You have a lot of karma and a lot of different things. So let's see where you post. You making up stories. Skeletons of Spring, Horizon Blue All Graphic Tee by brand name. Oh, so he's actually making his own shirts. He's doing a side hustle in New York. He has a code he's giving out on Xbox. In the comments, let's do a little bit of a more deep dive right now. I'm not trying to dox this guy. Let's just see what he does. Oh, so he's posting in Pets, event about Chinese dwarf hamsters, and then he puts a long comment there, you know what, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it's inconclusive. There's not enough information about this guy to say that he's lying or not, so we're just gonna go ahead and say mistrial. Brand name nerd, you get off. You're free to do more comments and not be affected by decoy noise, decoy court, and the decoy investigations. Persistent Polymath says, I used to work for a cruise line. A passenger asked if the crew lives on the ship full time. I asked my coworker that explained no, the crew leaves every night to fly back to Miami and then returns each morning. She walked away satisfied. After the cruise was over, our manager started sharing the passenger evaluations with us and was confused about one in particular. It was a woman who stayed on deck 14 and had complained that she couldn't sleep at night because of the noise of the crew helicopter. Fact 1. 1,200 crew do not leave them every night, but we do live on the ship. Fact 2. That ship didn't even have a helipad. Question. What the hell fuck was she hearing every night? I mean, there's a lot of psychological stuff that can happen where if you were told something, you just believe it. Maybe if she just heard the ocean sounds. Again, I'm just making stuff up now. The M Noob says, someone in the next cabin using helicopter sounds ambient. Someone in the next cabin using helicopter sounds ambient noise to sleep. And someone was impressed enough to give me silver for this. Thanks you. Okay, stop. That's my biggest pet peeve now, I think, is just people going on this thing and saying, thanks for the silver, thanks for the Reddit. I think that every single time I get a sub, I'm just gonna post something saying, thanks for the sub, or whatever. I'm getting irrationally freaked out about that. So MC Freak 2013 says, people in school used to always take my Gatorade, so I took an empty bottle, filled it with dyed salt water, and let them take my drink. Not gonna lie, it was hilarious watching one person spit salt water in the middle of class, only for them unbelieving friend to do the same. So one thing I would say though, it's kind of weird, like, so if you're at work and you have like a shared fridge or whatever, and you put like all your food in there and someone's like stealing it all the time, it's one of those ethics thing. Like, should you just put like salt? If everybody's always stealing your pizza, if you put it in the fridge, could you put a whole bunch of salt all over the pizza and just wait for the unsuspecting criminal to take your pizza and then like spit it out or whatever? Like, some people say don't be an asshole. They're probably just like not as well off or whatever. Which I get that too, but it's like an ethics question. Drop in the comments below if you think it's okay to salt your own Gatorade, salt your own pizza, do anything terrible to your own food. I draw the line at like putting salt on it because I wouldn't want to put like super spicy food or like peanuts all over it. If someone has a nut allergy, it's just like, we're trying to inconvenience people, not actually like harm them. Carnivorous Conifer says, picked out every last marshmallow from my sister's box of Lucky Charms, then took a photo of me eating the bowl of Just Charms, printed it, put it in the bottom of the bag, then sealed the bag back up, hot glued the box back in the pantry it went. So she's eating Lucky Charms, there's no marshmallows, and finds a picture of him eating the marshmallows. But that's how terrible America is now. I think that they actually have a box of Lucky Charms that's just the marshmallows. No nutritional anything, just marshmallows. We should have known that we were going down that path in America when we had Cookie Crisp as an actual thing, but the just marshmallows Lucky Charms scares me. Vipe Nish says, this isn't a prank, this is the work of Satan. 666 Hellmaster says, I pulled out the marshmallows just to eat the bowl of them and it's actually really gross. The hard cereal actually balances out. Very, very true, but you know what? You are not the target demographic for most of our foods. Like, I admit, I'm really into Cocoa Pebbles, which is just all sugar, and also Cinnamon Toast Crunch. It's so good, but it's so terrible for you. Okay, let's go down. So Waffle Park got, oh my gosh, Waffle Park got the Timeless Beauty Award, got the W Award, got the Gold Award, and Wholesome Award. Oh my god, and 4 more. What else did they get? Bless Up Award and 3 silvers. Jeez, this comment better blow my mind. So, Waffle Park says, I lived in Korea for a bit. When my mom came to visit, I told my Korean girlfriend it was American custom to greet older women by touching elbows. My mom's heard the same story about Korean customers, so it was a thing of beauty. They were not pleased with touching elbows all the time. It reminds me of a guy, oh my god, he's on the podcast, but it was one of those things where when he first started in where I hired him, he was maybe 2 months in the country, brand new. So he would tell us weird things about like, oh yeah, like he's surprised that Starbucks has so many coffees and there's like music in the restroom. And so we actually tried to convince him that, oh yeah, in America, compared to your old country, it's customary to take off your shoes when you enter a public restroom. Like take off your shoes, take off your socks, leave them out there. Almost got him to do it. It's super messed up, but that'd be such a hilarious thing where he's just like, you're going to like, you're at like a Dodger game or something, you going to use the restroom with him and it's just like, dude, why are you taking off your shoes? But okay. VPSJ says, in India we touch feet of all our elders to get their blessings. I wonder if someone's pranking us since the last 5,000 years. That cheeky motherfucker. Boily Boy, simple, elegant, thoughtfully harmless. The perfect prank. Yes, that is the perfect prank. No one's getting hurt. They're being kind of inconvenienced. Kind of funny. So, Mushi Ren says 10 out of 10. Would recommend. Injured at Work says it's a thing, just not in those places. NJ to the Bay, New Jersey to the Bay, says, over a decade ago, I worked in the warehouse of a Guitar Center. We dealt with inventory, shipping, and receiving. We had a dumpster behind the store, and we shared in a shared parking lot that people would leave random things in it, even though it was not a public dumpster. I relate to you. One day we found a broken beach chair in an open cardboard box. The box had a shipping label on it and left in such a way that it was easy to assume that the chair and box combo was left by the same person. We packed the beach chair in another box and shipped it back to the customer. I wish I was there to see that person's face when they received their trash back via UPS. Oh, that would be actually good. The damn floating eye? Huh? Okay. Haha, I did something similar, but nowhere near this epic. There is a used bookstore that I go to sometimes. This bookstore sells used postcards. I bought a few that had been previously sent 20-30 years prior. I then slapped a fresh stamp on them and tossed them into the mailbox. I wish I could have seen the person's reaction when they showed up. SA48K says, it's all fun and games until you get a postcard from someone who's been dead for a decade and you freak the fuck out. That would be true though. It's like, you know, you're putting away somebody's like, you know, you're donating or you're getting rid of it and all of a sudden they send it back to you. That's a remedy for hunting right there. Oh, not remedy, that's formula for hunting. Why did I say remedy for hunting? Whatever, it's late. Captain Badass, he got a, what is this little trumpet thing? What's this trumpet thing? He got a Updoot award. Sometimes you get the doot, gives the author of the week Reddit premium and 100 coins to do what they play. Well, okay, whatever. One night I replaced every framed object in my boss's office with a picture of me making a stern face, posters, certificates, photos, etc. It took like 3 hours because he had like 30 framed things in his office. The next day I made sure I was doing field work to make him sit through it with the most of the day. He had a lot of foot traffic to look at his office that day. What? Why do you get such a high thing? That's ridiculous. Doden, whoa, got platinums, whoa, the Updoots, golds, and a unicorn? No, that's 2 horns, a goat. Okay, this is the last one we'll do then, because this is supposed to blow our socks off right now. So, my mom's laptop wallpaper was a picture of her granddaughter. I copied the picture 100 times and made a wallpaper slideshow of the same picture over and over again. So the file would change, but nothing would happen visibly on the monitor. The pictures would change every 10 seconds. On one of the images, I painted tiny curly mustache on her, so randomly for 10 seconds my niece would have a mustache. My mom thought she was either losing her mind or had a computer virus every time the mustache popped up. It was gone by the time she tried to show anyone. That's actually the funny thing what you do when you take a screenshot of somebody's desktop, you put everything in a folder, and you make the background the screenshot of that so they can't click any of their icons. They get super frustrated. Harmless prank, I like that. So Disney World Native says, I did something similar to a college friend. I replaced a single system sound file, the click of a mouse, with a 5-minute version. It started off identical, followed by 4 minutes and 50 seconds of silence, but at that end it had me screaming. Oh, so you click something and click, and then it would scream. Now, if another system sound would play, it stopped playing the previous sound. So he would use his computer, then when he would walk away, it might scream 5 minutes later. Especially in bed says, this is incredible. I'm trying really hard not to burst out laughing and wake up my girlfriend. You have to tell us what happened. Did he twig the first time it happened, or did he come straight to you? Disney World Native replied and said he did come to me, but it was for help since I was pretty good with the computers. It's also why I dropped off the PC with me the first time he brought it. Him explaining what was going on was difficult to keep a straight face. He rarely had his speakers on, so it took a while for him to notice. And when it did happen, he was usually pretty far away from the computer to know it came from. It thought it was something else. And then again, somebody thinks that they're being haunted because you're playing a computer prank or you're sending books back or whatever. It wasn't until he was working on a paper late night when it happened, and when it happened a lot, between the shitty microphone and me screaming too loud, my voice wasn't recognizable. He had just a loud noise coming from the speakers. He tried to show me, but I made sure to never let it go at 5 minutes, expect for the right before when I was going to leave. Then I played all interested. I made up a story about how it could be a nasty virus, and he said it only came from... Oh, okay. Cool. So, mission accomplished, AskReddit. You actually gave us some good entertainment, lots of good threads, posts, or whatever, but I mean, trying something new, less stories. I do like having Michael, Tuggle, Jess, Greg, everybody that's willing to be on my podcast that's not a podcast anymore. So, let me know down below if you like this kind of solo dive with just me and the audience. Let me know if you want to subscribe down below, because I really need it. And also, check out that video over there, because we're going to do more stuff like that. I will have guests on again, and maybe one day I will take a breath.